Hello, America. This is Call of Duty Goddess. Today is May the 21st, 2016. I'm at wisconsinwatchdog.org here at an article titled Social Security Whistleblowers Coming Out of the Woodwork, dated May the 19th, 2016. In the wake of Wisconsin Watchdog's investigation into allegations of incompetence, misconduct, and retaliation in Social Security Disability Appeals offices, several employees have taken their complaints to a Senate committee led by Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. An official with knowledge of the complaints said the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, chaired by the Oshkosh Republican, has received emails and other contacts from certain people inside the Social Security Administration's Office of Disability Education and Review. The initial complaints came from an employee inside the Milwaukee office following Wisconsin Watchdog's opening investigative report that found some claimants waiting more than 1,000 days for an appeals decision on their disability benefits claim. Following Wednesday's story of a whistleblower in the Madison ODAR office, the committee has received more specific complaints about retaliation against employees, the source said. Committee staff members sent the latest watchdog piece to SSA administrators, hoping they will cooperate, the source said. To date, the agency has been less than cooperative. This is an ongoing process, and they are not always as forthcoming as we'd like them to be, the source said. Hopefully, with your continued reporting, this is an issue they can't duck. A Senate committee member said officials there are working with the Office of Special Counsel on multiple whistleblower retaliation claims. The committee continues to request information from the SSA. The whistleblower in the Madison office claims management retaliated against her after she was called to testify in a misconduct case. The incident involved inappropriate behavior by an administrative law judge, she said. "They are so corrupt. It's absolutely horrible," the woman said, a lead case technician in the Madison Office of Disability Education and Review. She spoke on condition of anonymity, fearing more retribution from her supervisors. While she said recounting her particular experiences will more than likely betray her identity anyway, the ODAR caseworker insisted she has had enough. "I'm at a point where they don't care about me. I don't see why I'm protecting them. This is my last resort," she said. "I want to do my work without fear of retaliation." She said she has contacted the Senate committee. "I forwarded my information to them and I got an email back from them. They said people are coming out of the woodwork with their complaints about ODAR following your story," the whistleblower said. Ronald Klein, a longtime senior legal assistant in the Milwaukee ODAR office, alleged he has been retaliated against by supervisors for going public with his charges of incompetence and misconduct in the agency. The federal employee, who has worked for SSA for 16 years, provided Wisconsin Watchdog with documents showing extremely long wait times for claimants appealing their denied applications for benefits. Beyond the delays is what Klein calls the shell game, the wholesale transferring of cases to other parts of the country by administrators to make the Milwaukee office's numbers look better than they are. The Madison office whistleblower confirmed Klein's allegation, saying at one point she saw 2,000 cases from the Milwaukee office handed off to the Oakbrook operation. So let's check out what happened to Klein. I'm here at wisconsinwatchdog.org again at another article titled Deadly Delay, Whistleblower Alleges Misconduct and Incompetence in Social Security Office, dated May the 4th, 2016. He said within 18 hours of his email to the SSA attorney about the case backlogs, 2 Inspector General officers were investigating me over a broken computer. Klein was at home in his pool when the agents came calling. They took me out of my pool and asked me questions for an hour and a half, and they requested to search my apartment. He was suspended twice, once for 10 days and another time for 14 days for flimsy allegations. Now, let's look at yet another fraud case from a different office that's in reference to Social Security. I'm at WSAZ News Channel 3, and this is out of Huntington, West Virginia. Let's watch this video here, and this video has been very difficult for me to catch, so if you'll bear with the video, I think you'll get the gist of what's going on.
New information tonight on what federal authorities say is one of the largest Social Security fraud schemes in our country's history.
Wow. Attorney Eric Kahn, along with retired administrative law judge David Daugherty and Dr. Alfred Bradley Adkins, are now charged in a federal indictment for scheming to collect more than $600 million in federal disability payments for thousands of people in our area by falsifying medical records to make patients appear disabled. Now, the indictment alleges this fraud went on from 2004 until 2012 and may have continued if it weren't for the brave actions of two whistleblowers working in the Huntington office of the Social Security Administration. Tonight, in a News Channel 3 exclusive, those whistleblowers are speaking out to Brad Myers. Brad saying these charges were a long time coming.
Yeah, nearly 10 years after they first sounded the alarm about this alleged scheme, Jennifer Griffith and Sarah Carver say they finally have a sense of relief after seeing Eric Kahn in handcuffs. But they say this case of fraud and cover-ups is far from over, and they claim there are many others who knew about Kahn's scheme and just chose to look the other way. Sarah Carver and Jennifer Griffith are the reason this entire investigation started. They used to work at the Social Security office in Huntington. Back in 2011, they filed a whistleblower lawsuit to shed some light on the illegal scheme federal authorities now say Eric Kahn and others were involved in for several years. The two say they were shocked to finally see Kahn charged and arrested.
It almost seemed like it was too good to be true. It was a big relief to see that something had finally happened after 9.5 to 10 years of trying to bring this out. So I was very, very relieved.
Despite the arrests, both Griffith and Carver say the current indictments aren't enough.
I do think that there should be more people because there were more people within the agency that were allowed to either retire early or were promoted. Several of the managers that were were in management at the time, throughout this time this was all going on, are several of them are still there and or have received major promotions, and that it's the lack of accountability that I feel that's an issue.
After bringing this scheme to light, Griffith and Carver say they were harassed while still working at the Huntington Social Security office by managers and even their own fellow co-workers.
They would turn around and question why we were reporting it, or why are you wasting your time emailing us and not doing your job.
Carver says during this investigation, she was forced to work in a room by herself at the Social Security office 8 hours a day for 10 months, during which time she was even followed by a private investigator who she says was hired by Kahn himself.
That private investigator apparently sat outside of my home from the time I was working in the morning till that evening, and even went to the point of following me after hours and on the weekends when I would take my children to their athletic practices.
And while both say they are happy Kahn and others have now been indicted, they say justice could have happened much sooner if officials would have listened to their complaints first voiced a decade ago.
Had the agency just put a stop to this behavior and the practice that was going on in 2006 when we first reported it, we wouldn't be having this conversation. This would have never happened.
Both women say one big problem is each Social Security Administration office sets goals to get as many disability claims through the system, and that many employees within the Social Security office can get monetary or production bonuses or even promotions when they meet or exceed that quota. They say at the height of the scheme, the Huntington office was usually ranked in the top 3 of the entire nation in approving disability claims.
All right, Brad, thanks. Griffith left the Social Security office in 2007. Carver just left last month.
My apologies for the video, but I thought it was important for you to see that and the whistleblowers speaking out and how both of them no longer work for Social Security. It's very important to see the systemic nature of this because there are many, many more whistleblowers coming out, and their mistreatment is the reason why there aren't many, many more whistleblowers coming out. They're afraid of retaliation. Many of them need their jobs. So when you compile that with people getting promotions and early retirements and all that, it's a problem that is very systemic, and it's going to affect all of us because it's been going on for a very long time. But the more people that come out and talk about it, I think the better off we are. I'd like to know what your opinion is. If you know of any Social Security fraud, I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments. So go ahead and give me your opinion and your comments on this. This is Call of Duty Goddess signing off, and as always, I've got your 6.